What's going on, atheist YouTube community? King Atheist, Extreme Atheist here. Third video shooting. Today we're going to take a look at Brad Stine versus In God We Trust. Let's see what we got.
We got people that are so self-absorbed that just because their little thinking niche market isn't being represented, they want to freak atheists. It's the only ideology that just freaks me out. Atheists. Atheists wants under God taking out the Pledge of Allegiance. You know why? It offends him.
It's the way you say it. Atheist.
I'm like, dude,
Christian.
There's like a spider
real.
Spine just curls.
How can he offend you?
How did you offend you? You smoke with all that stuff.
Who is more irrational? The guy that believes in a God he doesn't see, or a guy who's offended by a God he doesn't believe in?
Who's the douchebag
What else is
screaming on
freaking you
TV?
out? Unicorns? Unicorns!
Unicorns. This guy doesn't believe in unicorns. What kind of fruitcake is that?
Unicorns are way cooler than
just
God.
so everybody know, we got special appearance today by our good friend, the lawyer who lives down the street. And last year, the Americans, some atheists tried to get the In God We Trust taken out of the dollar bill because it offended them.
A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit demanding the removal of the words "In God We Trust" from all U.S. currency. The lawsuit was brought against the Treasury Department by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. In the initial complaint, filed back in February, the group, along with a dozen more plaintiffs, argued that having a phrase like "In God We Trust" on currency is, quote, proselytizing, discriminatory, and a per se establishment of monotheism.
Historically, it was American atheist founder Madalyn O'Hair who first challenged the "In God We Trust" labeling problem on American currency. She became famous when, in the 1960s, she found that her son was being required to participate in Bible reading and prayer in school, and in 1963 got state-sponsored Bible reading and prayer banned from public schools.
The group argued that the use of the motto does not exhibit a separation of church and state. However, the judge presiding over the case was not persuaded by these arguments, and in the court order he wrote that the phrase was not a violation because the Supreme Court has, quote, repeatedly assumed the motto's secular purpose and effect.
Good Lord, what do you think about that whole the lawsuit with the dollar bill? What's your opinion on that?
Jesus said to his disciples, "Let my name be on the dollar."
There we go.
The Lord said it. We need to preach it.
What do you think about the legal implications of this lawsuit getting thrown out? The federal judges rejected their plea to get the In God We Trust taken out of the dollar bill. What do you think about that?
I always said only God can judge me. God in Cook County.
God in Cook County, all right.
Historically, the year in which In God We Trust was put on the $1 bill was 1957, and a reaction to the so-called Red Atheism scare, thus replacing the original 1782 national motto, E pluribus unum, or out of many one.
No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
The first issue with this In God We Trust labeling problem is that it does not represent the views of some 38% of Americans. Specifically, 29% of Americans, according to 2005 polls, do not trust God, but rather instead believe in the existence of some type of spirit or life force. 7% are unsure, and 2% of Americans do not believe in God, spirit, nor life force. The second problem with labeling of God on the $1 bill is that the Constitution of the United States is not structured around the theory of God. A third salient problem of the labeling of In God We Trust on the U.S. $1 bill is that 95% of American National Academy of Science members do not believe in the existence of God. A fourth salient reason why In God We Trust is an improper labeling for the U.S. $1 bill is that America was founded by people who came to this country to escape religious persecution. A fifth reason why the phrase In God We Trust is inappropriate for the U.S. $1 bill is that not only will school children refuse to say one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, but more recently, U.S. Air Forcemen are now starting to refuse to say the phrase, "So help me God," in the oath. The last and final reason why it is inappropriate to have the phrase "In God We Trust" printed on the currency of the world's leading country is that one cannot trust something that does not exist.